Hi everybody, Monica Bodierski here, artist and author of the Shadowland Tarot and the House of Shadows Lenormand, now in its 4th edition, and yes, it is up and running on my site in the shopping area. You can purchase a copy. It is, as the other editions have been, limited edition. This print run only has 150 cards. I'm going to hold it up for you here. Here's the cover. And to ensure that you have a limited edition and it's not going to be printed again, I have signed the back and numbered which number deck you're getting out of the 150 with my signature on here. And I do this to keep track of cards so, others don't reprint them to make a couple of bucks, because it happens. It's not like, oh my goodness, it's such a valuable deck. It's just, people need to make a buck too, and they do that kind of slightly unethical thing called copying other people's decks and selling them cheap. So you will know if you have an authentic edition of this deck because of the signature and the number, and I do keep track. When you order it on the site. I have a record of that. So thank you so much for your enthusiasm. I am sorry a couple of you have been waiting for a year. I had a few deadlines. That is the life of an artist and a writer. You got to juggle all sorts of stuff in there. But thank you so much for your patience. The copies are now available, and I do ship everywhere, but tracking to anywhere other than North America is insanely expensive. And I'm not sure you want to pay $35 to $80 just to have your mail tracked. If you do, let me know and we'll work it out. Otherwise, the shipping rates for the US and Canada are listed in the checkout area. Okay, so that was exciting. The other exciting thing that happened this last week was that I did the Tarot Intensive over 3 evenings, and it was just phenomenal. I had such a good time. Yeah, I miss them already. You get attached. Okay, no, they probably don't. I get attached to people fairly quickly. They were such a lovely group. So to all of you who took that Tarot Intensive, thank you so much for participating, and thank you for spreading the word if you enjoyed those classes. It's hard not to have fun teaching things that you're really, really passionate about. So thank you again. I will be offering the class, as is this particular class, in a 3-evening intensive yet again. I have the dates on my site. Do I remember? No, I had way too many deadlines to keep track of all of it, but I do believe it is in early September. So if you're around, the registration is actually open on the site. There are 20 spots. It is a Zoom class. If you'd like to purchase your spot, please go ahead and do so. And I'll get to see some of you that, told me you couldn't make it due to the timing and summer. Maybe I'll get to see you in early fall. So thank you. What else do I have? I think, I don't even know if I mentioned this. On top of having the House of Shadows 4th edition, I also have these gorgeous bags created by Leanne Shea Ram, a textile artist from Picton, Ontario, who has made these gorgeous lined bags. They're from a very heavy cotton. They're sturdy, and they have a drawstring. You can fit tarot in them as well. The Shadowland Tarot just fits. Here it is. And here's a size comparison to my House of Shadows Lenormand cards, okay? So you can see it has my signature bat. Yes, yay. Please help the bats. I do donate, a percentage of sales, $1, I believe, from every deck to help them with that horrible fungal nose disease. Without the bats, we do not have control of mosquitoes and insects, and they're just wonderful creatures for our ecosystem. So the bags are available. There are only 20 left. I just put them on a few days ago, and there's only 20 of those left. If you do want one, if you do buy one of these with the Lenormand deck, I, will ship them together, so it's one shipping cost, of course. Okay, so what else would I like to talk to you today about? I would like to talk to you today about, oh, hello, Mr. Sprague. What are you doing here? No, I really didn't want to talk to you about Mr. Sprague. He is my my familiar because I'm deadly allergic to actual cats. So Mr. Sprague is my cat. And before you bombard me with please just take Benadryl, you know what? I'm one of those peculiar people who is allergic to antihistamines. It's okay, don't pity me. Mr. Sprague is like the best cat ever. Okay, so today I wanted to give you a quick 3-card spread using Lenormand. If I didn't mention it, the House of Shadows deck was created with shadow work in mind, but you can use it for a regular Lenormand card. Some people don't like to switch between Lenormand and Tarot. I would say to you, you know, if you've got a fairly good handle on one of them, you can figure out the other one without too much difficulty. It's all based on symbolism. And Lenormand's symbols may be a little easier at first glance because they're single word symbols, as in ship. I know what you're thinking. The jellyfish is bigger than the ship. That's because this is Shadowland, okay? Or clover. I guess that's a little bit easier maybe than all the symbols in the moon card. Maybe, maybe not. So today we're going to do a quick read with Lenormand. And if you have a deck, play along. If you need to use your tarot for this, you know, it'll work for tarot too. I'm just going to use the 4th edition because I'm so happy it's here in this demo. And we're going to take a look at what do I need at this moment in time to move forward on my journey. And I will leave it up to you if you want to be specific about the journey. But I leave it open every now and then. I like to leave it in a very broad category because sometimes it's not a specific thing. I get bombarded with so many things, I almost let the cards sort of point out what area I need to get moving in. So it's not only helping me figure out how to move forward on a journey, but there are hints about what journey it is I should be moving forward on. Okay? Okay. So grab your decks. Alrighty. And shuffle those cards. And your first card, we're drawing 3 cards, okay? Your first card, pull that out and place it in front of you, and you can place it face up. All right. Draw your second card and put it face up next to the first one. And then your third card. For those of you who've asked me, do I reshuffle every time? No, not really. Sometimes I just pull cards from random after shuffling though, so I don't necessarily take them off the top. You can do this in any sequence you like, okay? Okay, so for the 3 cards, what's the first step? So steps 1, 2, and 3 to get moving on your journey. All right, so it's more specific about all 3 steps as opposed to different things. They're all steps, but they're in sequence. This is also easier for people who tend to think in a very linear fashion, okay? So the first card I pulled is, the birds. The birds. It not normally looking like this in your everyday Lenormand, they're just birds, but I like to put action in my Lenormand cards to give it some context for what it is that I'm conveying, which is sometimes the shadow side, okay? The part that I focus in on this is being stuck here in the cage. If you identify with one of the birds, feel free, but kind of the cage is jumping out at me. So I think the first thing it's saying is I should identify where I feel trapped. What is it that is making me feel stuck right now? Where do I feel stuck? That can be tricky because you can feel stuck in a lot of different areas at once, but take your time with that, jot it down, and often the first thing that comes to mind is the thing that you're feeling most stuck. Sometimes not because you've shoved it so far down into your subconscious, it could be the last thing, But you know what? I think if you look at it, your gut knows, yeah, that's your body reaction sometimes. You can rhyme off all sorts of things on a list. You're going blah, blah, blah. Yep, I feel stuck there. Then there's that one thing that makes you go, ugh, like someone just hit you in the gut. That is usually the thing. If you're not certain, okay, pay attention to your body reaction. Okay, so I'm going to identify where I'm feeling stuck first. The second card I pulled was the child card. The child card. And my child card has got her head on a string, and it's kind of like a balloon. Now, that does not mean anything negative to me. It actually means a higher perspective because children are valued, and in the Lenormand system, the child card is precious. It can mean you're expecting a child. This is probably not the case with me. But generally, I use the child card as a reference to preciousness and joyfulness and looking at things from a child's very positive perspective. And not naive in a negative way, but knowing what's ahead, but saying, I'm not going to worry about it, and taking the child's perspective when you weren't so bogged down with bills and worries and things. Remember what you were like when you were a kid. You were fearless because those things didn't exist. You almost want to recapture that attitude, and you can do it. You just have to shove all that other stuff out of your head for now, okay? So my second step after identifying what's making me feel stuck is maybe rise above that, look at things from a more playful perspective, and be joyous about it. How can I work around that? Do I blow up the cage? Do I go after the bird who's trapping me? Do I just step out of the scene altogether? Maybe. Okay, jot down your options. All right, what comes to mind in being joyful and taking a higher perspective or looking at the bigger picture here instead of getting caught up in those everyday details that can make you absolutely crazy? Okay, that's my second step. And my third step, I got the house. Now the house in my deck is really, really busy. You can see I've pulled it before on my YouTube channel, and there's a lot of stuff happening here. I mean, a whole lot. So look at what's going on. I've got a broader perspective on things. Now I need to look at my environment to see if there's anything then getting in my way with my perspective or what I've perhaps just decided to do. I need to clean up my own space first. Now, whether that's metaphorically or physically, I'll leave that to you. That depends entirely on what your path is. This card, however, is suggesting something going on in your immediate vicinity and looking carefully at your environment. Okay, that's the third step. So jot down the things that you think you need to address. Adjust. Is it finding time for yourself within a very busy household? That's a common one. You need to carve out time and space if you want to progress at something. You've got to make time for it. And let's be real, we're not actually manufacturing time. We're just making it a priority. That's where time comes from. It's a priority, okay? All right, so there's 3 cards. I hope that little spread helps you out somewhat. I want to send out a special thank you to Erika Robinson for writing the foreword in my book. Arwen Lynch Poe wrote the other foreword in my other editions, and to which I'm very grateful. And Erika Robinson has contributed to this new LWB, also known as A Little White Book, with her brilliance. So thank you, Erika. Did I mention anything else, or did I forget to mention something? You know, card size, really quickly before we go today. I understand that some people find card size in tarot and Lenormand, or all cards, really aggravating because they are not working for them. And by that I mean they're too big, they're too small. I don't know. There's a variety of things with cards. I'm just trying to hold up both of my decks so you can see the difference. Okay, that's the Lenormand again, that's the tarot. The tarot cards are a very standard size. This is considered a standard size, okay? And they're published from Red Feather Mind, Body, Spirit, okay, an imprint of Schiffer Publishing. My cards are self-published. All right, so I'm the one who is looking after these cards on my site. If you do want to get the Shadowland Tarot, you need to look online. There are lots of outlets through Amazon and through major bookstores and smaller bookstores. And if you can't find them, just ask Red Feather to get you a deck, okay? But back to the size. These are a standard size from old school Lenormand. So maybe I kind of stuck to this size because, well, you can print cards any size you desire, depending on your budget, okay? I think sticking to the early smaller size, it's almost like a bridge size, is a shout out to Lenormand cards. They're kind of like a smaller playing card because that's how they started. And I've gone and changed the deck so darn much in some respects. I think I needed something to stay constant. Anyway, don't feel upset if the cards are too small, too big, just not suited. That's okay. You know, there's lots of cards out there in different sizes that can accommodate your particular needs. And my goodness, I'm not done publishing. I can make cards in all sorts of sizes too. For now, every edition of the House of Shadows will remain the same size, but if I create some other Oracle deck, who knows? I'm crazy that way. Anyway, thank you so much once again for your attention. It's wonderful to see you all leaving comments and engaging with this content, trying out the spreads that I'm sharing with you, you know, coming to my website and taking classes. Once again, my sincerest gratitude for that. I hope you have a wonderful week, and you know where to find me. I'll be in Shadowland. All right, until next week, stay well. Bye-bye.